Dr. David Dow, dragged from that United flight on Sunday, is now out of the hospital.
One passenger, one seat, and one phone camera. And within 24 hours, one of the world's biggest airlines was facing a public global relations disaster. This is not just a story about an overbooked flight. This is a story about communication, leadership, policy failure, and the cost of forgetting human dignity. Imagine this. You have paid for your ticket, you have boarded the plane, you are sitting in your assigned seat, and you are ready to go home. Then suddenly, the airline tells you have to leave. What would you do? This was exactly the situation faced by Dr. David Dow on United Express flight 3411. And what happened next became one of the most famous airline crises in modern business history. Today, we will analyze the case David Dow on United Airlines. We will look at what happened, why it happened, who was involved, what United did wrong, and what better solution could have saved the company from the crisis.
The case takes place in April 2017 at Chicago O'Hare Airport in the United States. The organization is United Airlines, one of the biggest airlines in the world. The industry is commercial aviation, where safety, timing, customer trust, and communication are extremely important. The flight was United Express Flight 3411, going from Chicago, Louisville. It was operated by the Republic Airlines on the behalf of United Express. At first, the issue looked simple. United needed seats for 4 crew members who had to reach Louisville for another flight the next morning. If those crew members did not reach on time, another flight could be delayed or cancelled. So, from an operational point of view, United wanted to protect its schedule. But here is the twist. The passenger had already boarded the aircraft. United offered compensation to the passenger if they voluntarily gave up their seat, but no one accepted that offer. Then, United selected passenger to leave the plane. Dr. David Dow was one of them. He refused to leave because he said he was a doctor and had patients to see in the next morning. Instead of solving the situation through calm negotiation, security officers were called. Dr. Dow was physically removed from the aircraft. Videos recorded by the passenger showed him being dragged down the aisle. He was injured and the videos quickly went viral. This changed the issue completely. It was no longer only an airline operations issue. It became communication crisis, it became leadership crisis, it became trust crisis.
The surface level problem was overbooking or seat shortage, but that was not the real problem. The real problem was United treated a human problem like a mechanical problem. They followed a policy, but they failed to use emotional intelligence. They tried to protect the flight schedule, but they damaged the brand. They focused on removing a passenger, but they forget to communicate with respect. The core problem was not only that Dr. Dow was removed. The core problem was that United had no proper crisis, communication and conflict resolution system for a situation where policy and human dignity came into conflict. This is why the case is important for business communication. Because in business, being legally allowed to do something does not allows means it is the right thing to do. And being technically correct does not mean you are communicating correctly. United's biggest mistake was not only operational, it was the message behind the action. Our schedule matters more than your dignity. The message destroyed public trust.
Now let's go deeper. Why did this happen? The first cause was a policy gap. United had rules for denied boarding. But the situation became more complicated because the passenger had already boarded. Once the passenger is seated, removing him feels much more unfair than stopping him at gate. The second cause was poor escalation. The staff did not have enough power or training to solve the issue creatively. They had limited options: offer compensation, select passenger, and then call security. There was no strong middle step for negotiation. The third cause was weak internal communication. The crew members who needed seats were added very late. This created pressure at the last minute. A last-minute operational problem was pushed directly onto customers. The fourth cause was a culture problem. Employees were trained to follow procedure but not trained enough to judge the human impact of that procedure. The fifth cause was a leadership response failure. United's first public statement sounded cold and defensive. The company used words like re-accommodate, which made the public feel that United was avoiding responsibility. So the crisis happened because of a chain reaction. Late crew planning led to seat shortage led to forced passenger removal, forced removal led to viral videos led to public anger, and poor apology made the anger worse.
Now let's identify the key stakeholders. First, Dr. David Dow. He was the passenger directly affected. His motivation was simple. He wanted to reach home and attend to his patient the next morning. Second, the other passenger. They were not only the witnesses, they became the media reporter through their phones. Their videos shaped the public opinion. Third, United Gate agents and staff. They were trying to follow the company procedure and manage a difficult situation, but they lacked better tools and authority to solve the conflict. Fourth, the security officers. They were called to remove the passenger. Their role turned a customer service problem into a physical confrontation. Fifth, Oscar Munoz, the CEO of the United Airlines. His role was very important because after the incident, every word from him shaped the company's image. Sixth, the United Airlines as a brand, the company had to protect its reputation, customer trust, employee morale, and the financial position. And lastly, the seventh, the public and the media. Social media made the incident global. People were not only judging the flight, they were judging United values. Now, this case shows that in the modern world, every customer interaction can become public. One bad movement inside a plane can become a global documentary within a minute.
Now we will discuss 3 possible solutions United could have used. The first, follow the existing policy strictly. United could simply say, we followed the rules, passenger refused, security handled it. This option protects employees because it does not blame them. It is also simple from a legal and operational point of view. But the problem is that it feels emotionally, it sounds defensive. It ignores the pain of the customers, it tells the public that policy is more important than people. So this option is not suitable. The second option is increasing compensation until someone volunteers. United should have kept increasing the offer until a passenger willingly accepted. For example, instead of stopping around $800 to $1,000, they could have offered a higher amount, hotel stay, meal support, confirmed next flight, and maybe extra miles. The option is logical because volunteers create less conflict than focus removal. It is also financially practical. A few $1,000s is much cheaper than a global PR crisis, legal settlements, loss of customers' trust, and a negative media coverage. The risk is that passengers may start waiting for higher offers in the future, but this can be managed by setting a clear compensation limit and using a proper auction system before boarding. Option 3 is changing the system, not just the apology. United should redesign the whole process. Crew movement should be planned earlier. Passengers should not be removed after boarding for not safety reasons. Frontline employees should have authority to offer better compensation. Security should not be called for really safety threats, not business problems. And crisis communication should be fast, humans and responsibilities. The option takes more time and training, but it is the best long-term solution.
Our recommended solution is a combination of option 2 and option 3. United should not only increase compensation, United should change the system that created their conflict. We recommended a 5-step action plan. Step 1. Solve seat problems before boarding. If the airline needs seats for crew, it must decide before passengers enter the plane. Once the customer is seated, removal should only happen for safety or security reasons. Step 2. Use a smart volunteer auction. Passengers can receive offers through announcements, app notifications, or gate screens. The offers should increase step by step until enough volunteers accept. Step 3. Empower frontline employees. Gate agents should have permission to offer a strong compensation without waiting for senior approval in every case. They should also be trained in negotiation and conflict management. Step 4. Create a customer dignity rule. The rule should be simple. No paying seated customers should be physically removed for a company scheduling problem. Step 5. Use a better crisis communication response. United response should have been, we are deeply sorry. What happened to Dr. Dow was unacceptable. We take full responsibility. We are reviewing our policies immediately. Our goal is to make sure no seated customer is ever treated this way again. Something like that. This message is clear, complete, concise, correct, and professional. It also shows empathy and responsibility.
Now, let's test if the solution is practical. Firstly, financially, it is feasible. Offering higher compensation may look expensive in the moment, but it is much cheaper than legal costs, refunds, bad publicity, and loss of future customers. Secondly, operationally, it is feasible. Airline already use software for booking and seat management. Adding an automated volunteer system is possible because the airline already has customer data and app communication. Third, legally, it is feasible. Airlines are already required to ask for volunteers before involuntarily denied boarding. So, our solution does not go against the law. Fourth, from a communication point of view, it is feasible. The company only needs a prepared crisis response framework. In a crisis, the first message should not be legalistic, it should sound human. Fifth, from a brand point of view, it is necessary. Airlines sell more than seats, they sell safety, trust, and reliability. Once a customer feels unsafe and disrespected, the brand loses emotional value. So, our recommendation is not only ethical, it is also practical.
No solution is perfect, so we must also discuss risk. Risk 1 is higher compensation may increase cost. Some passenger may refuse early offers because they expect a bigger offer later. To manage this, United can set a maximum limit and use transportation bidding system. The airline can also solve the problem earlier, before passenger board. The second risk is employees may feel unsupported. If the CEO apologizes publicly, staff may be blamed. To manage this, leadership should say, our employee followed the old policy, but the old policy was not good enough. We will improve the system and support our employees with better training. This protects employees while accepting responsibilities. The third risk is passengers may misuse the policy. Some passengers may become difficult, thinking the airline cannot remove them. To manage this, United must clearly separate business issues from the safety issues. If a passenger is a real safety threat, the airline can still involve security. But if the issue is only seat management, security should not be used. The fourth risk is technology implementation may take time. A volunteer auction system cannot be perfect in one day. To manage that, United can start with manual authority first. For example, gate agents can immediately receive a higher compensation limit. Later, the digital system can be added. Lastly, the fifth risk is public trust may not return quickly. One apology does not remove the videos from people's mind. To manage this, United must show repeated action, not only words. It must publish policy changes, train employees, and show better customer treatment over time. So yes, there are risks, but the risk of doing nothing is much bigger.
This case is not alone. A strong parallel is JetBlue's 2007 crisis. JetBlue faced a major operational failure during a winter storm. Passengers were stuck, flights were cancelled, and the airline's image was damaged. But JetBlue responded by introducing a customer bill of rights. This gave customers clear compensation for delays and service failures. The lesson is simple. A crisis can become a chance to create better policy. Another parallel is Southwest Airlines. After the United incident, Southwest announced that it would stop overbooking flights. This shows that one company's communication failure can push the whole industry to rethink its policies. A third parallel is Southwest passenger removal case in 2017, where a passenger was forcibly removed after an allergy-related dispute. This again shows that when airlines call law enforcement too quickly, the issue becomes bigger than the original problem. These examples prove one thing. In the airline industry, customers' communication is not a soft skill. It is a risk management tool.
For us, the biggest lesson from this case is that communication is not only about words. Communication is also a policy. Communication is tone. Communication is timing. Communication is body language. And communication is how a company treats a person when things go wrong. United policy may have been designed for efficiency, but it failed in humanity. The airline wanted 4 seats, but it also lost something much bigger, which is trust.
At the start, we asked a simple question. What would you do if you paid for a seat, boarded the plane, and then we were told to leave? But after seeing this case, the better question is, what should a company do when its policy hurts the people it's supported to serve? Our answer is clear. A company must be stopped hiding behind procedures. It must listen. It must take the responsibility. It must solve the problem before it becomes a crisis. And most important, it must remember that every customer is a human being first. Because in business communication, the message people remember is not always the company says. Sometimes the message people remember is what company does.